Only thing I'm saying is like this guy in particular. I feel like my whole life only one or two people understood my plight or complaints that I would make. But I feel like this guy, I don't know how much of a mess I look right now. But I feel like this guy right here, he is nailing it. Like, people, think like I'm overreacting or, et cetera, et cetera. Even though, it takes me a long time to respond, but, I always like try to reach out, for counsel, I guess you can say, you know. And, if you've ever asked a friend, do you think I'm crazy? Or, do you think this too much? Or, do you find it weird? Consulting and everything. Like, even kings, had advisors. You know what I'm saying? So, there's nothing wrong with getting advice. And some people will be like, girl, just let it go. Girl, just don't worry about it. But when it's consistent, and then when it's, like group after group, let's just say it's 4 different groups that don't like each other, but somehow they can unite because that's how much, they don't like you, you know. And I'll say again, there's always like, maybe 1 out of the 3 that don't feel that way. It could be 2, but they're not strong enough to stand mentally on their own. They're afraid to lose the group if they speak out. Evil flourishes when good people do nothing. That's why, I've always had like a deep admiration for police officers because, it's very hard to, I guess, chastise others without crossing the line over into being, bad, wicked, evil like they are. That's why, the whole, Black Lives thing was so huge and is so huge, but was so huge is because they're like, you're not mad when, criminals do it. Well, criminals don't swear an oath. You expect the good people to do more. And I feel like people go out of their way to like, I can show you she's not good. I believe there's good and bad in both of us, all of us. Which energy do you feed? That's the thing. Which energy do you feed? Me, I'm big on manners, hospitality. But I'm also big on, rule enforcement. Especially if chaos. When there's chaos, I want order. And I feel like I get, a lot of flack on my jobs because, oh, she's a stickler. I bet you I can make her break a rule. And it's not that I don't ever break a rule, but I try to put distance between those rule breaks. The system is normally set in place for a reason. But in any case, thank you. I think it's Blake W, Mr. Blake W. I don't know if it's Blake Q. I don't know if it's one word or whatever it is, but like I found his stuff this year, 2024, and he really understands what I've been going throughout my lifetime, obstacles and people and things I've had to conquer. I feel like people try to ruin my reputation. It goes from like, wow, she doesn't really make, mistakes. She's not rude. She stays to herself. She looks happy most of the time. And then like, maybe after a year, it's like, she's still happy. She's still over there to herself. Huh. And then they start concocting little nitpicky things. They're not necessarily doing felonious things, but nitpicky things, And I believe that, like, angry stares. I believe that psychotic death stare. You see what I'm saying? I believe looking at me and whispering to your neighbor and, a lot of times I'm working with people with language barriers or whatever, but It's funny that, like, I don't speak English, but I see you talking to somebody who doesn't speak your language. You see, like, let's just say, I don't know, but if you only speak Farsi and very little English, how are you over there conversing, with, the Indian woman or Hispanic woman that doesn't speak English? You see what I'm saying? Somebody, somewhere, there's some commonality, and it's usually English, you know. But anybody say they don't speak English, I don't try to force them to speak English. But, I'll say again, it's been my experience that when they want you to understand, they can speak it. When you try to get them to understand, they cannot. Right.